review. The time for sweet potatoes?
What? No. Damn it. I said the time has come. We're gonna do musicals.
Oh! Shit.
It's the last time I try to be authentic for something. Happy Halloween from the wasteland. I'm Sebastian from Cinemageddon Reviews, and welcome to a brand new series that we like to call Nerds Don't Sing. On this series, my job is to try to convince my friend Luis. That's your cue.
How's it going? Bruh.
My job is to convince this unprofessional dumbass to like musicals. I like musicals. Everybody with a decent mind likes musicals. Him, not so much. Can you explain why, mister?
I have a love-hate relationship with them. Time and time again, these musicals have gone on my nerves like multiple times. There are good ones, don't get me wrong, and I've seen a couple of them, but I just couldn't like them. But nowadays, I'm more open-minded than ever, so I'm looking forward to seeing whatever we got in the roster. What do we have tonight?
Well, I'm glad you asked. 'Tis the holiday season, and by that I mean it's Halloween, and instead of watching your Halloweens, your Jason Voorhees, your Nightmare on Elm Streets, your Candyman's, or whatever the hell passes off as horror these days, I decided I'm going to show him the musical slasher classic of 2014, and by classic I mean it was a piece of shit that became popular amongst the bad movie crowd, Stage Fright.
What happens when you take a bowl and fill it up with Phantom of the Opera, Sleepaway Camp, add a tinge of Rock of Ages in there without any of the licensed music, and finish it up with all of the clever writing and subtlety of an average nostalgia critic video? You either get a disgusting bowl of shit, or you get Stage Fright. Released in 2014 by Magnolia Pictures, Stage Fright tells the story of a young girl working in a performing arts camp who dreams of following in her mother's footsteps of becoming a Broadway legend. However, when a mysterious serial killer armed with killer riffs and terrible puns starts to slowly take out unlucky campgoers, her dreams of living up to her mother's legacy are put in jeopardy. The film was received poorly upon its release, receiving a paltry 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, and fell so far into obscurity that I did not know of this movie's existence until Musical Hell made an amazing video on it several years ago. Now, I've never watched this movie before now, so my opinion on it has been pretty basic. However, as I plan to get Luis into liking musicals, I think this is a pretty good starting point given that it's Halloween, and nothing puts me in the spirit of horror more than crappy slasher movies with cool slasher villains in them.
With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and watch the movie, and we're going to give our thoughts on it as soon as we're done watching it. Are you ready, Luis?
Oh, couldn't have been more ready than ever. After marathoning Friday the 13th, I can't wait to watch another slasher film.
Trust me, I have not seen anything like this. Let's do it like they do in musical theater, and let's break a leg.
And I'm here too!
Jesus Christ! Wow. That was something.
Well, I will say this. I personally have stage fright. That's all I can say.
I think. Oh my goodness. I think Diva from Musical Hell said it best when she tweeted at me a few minutes ago when she said, "This was definitely an idea that deserved better." And I agree. Stage Fright is a movie. It's definitely a movie, as Gabe said, but it's not a very good one. Let's just leave it at that.
I mean, let's be real here. It plays like every slasher flick that you've ever seen, whether it's Friday the 13th, Halloween, or hell, even I mean, the many ones that came before, even Chucky.
What are you, fucking nuts?
But here, they decided to throw in a new spin, like not only making fun, like making a parody of itself in the musical Broadway, but...
The musical Broadway?
Sorry.
You tell this guy he's not into musicals?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Yes, if it wasn't obvious enough. But the point is, yeah, it has some fun ideas in mind, but it was so over the top, and it didn't help that the acting in the movie didn't really click with me. The actors tried their best, but it was so cliche, and because of the many slasher flicks I've seen, this movie didn't hit me.
The weird part is, this movie feels pretty much exactly like every one of those slasher movies ever. It has everything that these movies have. Terrible acting, terrible visuals, a really terrible villain with a weird little twist with the family at the end, which reminded me too much of the twist with Friday the 13th, the first one. But what really kind of captivated me is the weird sort of nihilistic way that it treats musical theater. Like, when you do something like this as a parody, you're trying to basically take all the elements of musical theater, or really anything in whatever genre you're poking fun at, making it as ridiculous as possible to lampoon it. But here, it's more like they're taking musical theater, but just doing whatever the hell they want. The jokes feel less like they're tongue-in-cheek and more like they're mean-spirited jabs without anybody to actually hit. They're punchlines with no targets. Like, the Les Producibles Rats, what was the name of the show? The
Haunting of the Opera.
The Haunting of the
Opera?
Yeah, it's weird that the first time I seen this movie, and I am aware that those other plays, they're public domain. They can use the names, but for some reason, I haven't done any research because this is the very first time watching the movie, but it just felt so weird. It's like, yeah, this film is taking itself seriously in some parts, and yet they're giving us mock-ups of the most famous plays, just with different titles.
Yeah, it's trying to basically have its cake and eat it too. It wants to be a parody of musical theater and poke fun at all the ridiculousness and all the over-the-top stuff, but it's also trying to be a sincere and honest slasher movie. And where it works in some aspects, it fails tremendously in others. And where it fails amazingly, there's a dog in here, is where the characters come in. And I gotta be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a movie with a cast of characters more boring and more one note than these. What was the main character's name? Camilla?
Camila. Like,
my little sister's name, Camilla. Do not use that name here. Let's just call her Cam. So Cam has a trauma from her childhood because her mom, played by the wonderfully sexy Minnie Driver, she ends up witnessing her mother getting killed at a very young age. Well, I'd say witnessing, but in reality, she was on stage singing while her mother was getting stabbed to death by some dude in a cheap mask.
Like, by the haunting.
Whoa, we do not know who it is yet.
Yeah, but you know when they call it the Phantom of the Opera? So who do we call this one? The Haunting?
No, you know what? We're gonna call it the Phantasm.
Your angel of death awaits.
Alright, that's okay.
We're being generous here. If we're gonna call it anything, it might as well be something memorable, because the slasher in the beginning is so unmemorable, and the reveal of who it actually is even worse. But the actual slasher for this movie is probably the biggest highlight in my opinion. Like, if they remake this movie, he's the only thing they need to keep.
Shut your fucking face! You musicals of thought shit every single day! You people make me sick!
Yeah, guys, that's the thing, that's the highlight of the movie. The kills were actually, yes, as he said, they were the highlights. Like, the first kill, apart from Minnie Driver, it was it was with the director of the play, and I just love the fact that, yeah, the guy was just getting his foot stabbed, and then it breaks apart until
It just
slices
It
out.
gets sliced up by a gentle little push.
Yeah, like breaking like a chicken wing, and
I love the one-liners. What was the name he said? Oh yeah.
the killer with the haunting of the opera mask,
If I recall correctly, they called this the metal killer. I always used to call it the kabuki killer, but apparently canonically this dude's name is the metal killer, and apparently this was supposed to be, I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be a parody of, but it sure as shit wasn't Phantom. I don't know what this is, but it's definitely not a Phantom of the Opera reference, whatever the hell he's supposed to be. Because, like, let's be honest, for anyone who's actually seen Phantom of the Opera, we know that the Phantom can be subtle and not subtle when he chooses to be.
Damn you! You little blind Pandora!
But at least he knew how to cover his tracks. When he wanted people to see people die and in order to send a message, he will do so, and he'll do it in the most posh and grandiose way imaginable. But this asshole just goes up and straight up kills somebody by making him deep throat a light bulb, which is admittedly one of the coolest kills I've ever seen. But what the hell happened to this dude's body?
Yeah, and he said like his costume was also taken away, so he.
But wait a minute. If they took away his costume, what the hell was that costume that they had later?
Oh, speaking of parodies, the way this movie opened up with a text as if it goes with the based on true events.
It does the thing where it pretends to be based on a true story, like the fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. But it was like the names have been changed to protect the identities of the victims, the musical numbers will be performed exactly as they were. What the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, like I don't know if the audience is, it nearly got me there. It's like, wait a minute.
Are you serious?
No. Like, I knew it was silly, but the way how they opened up, like, very slowly with the rockin' music.
That was the point.
Yeah, like, it was, granted, it did chuckle me. It was funny. Like, it nearly got me there until they started to play the rocking music. I was like, oh, okay.
God, dude, this movie is so weirdly edited and directed. It tries to do the scenes where it has the killer going up and killing everybody in his way, but it also tries to cut between bits where other people are singing, and the juxtaposition just does not work. You have one scene where the killer is going about and slashing some innocent victim, but then you cut to other people singing and dancing, and there's no connection to it. There's no reason to cut from one to the other. It's basically just to be like, look, everybody's having a good time, everybody's singing, but then while this is happening, this person is getting killed. It's like, yeah, but the total disconnect is so jarring and so crazy, but it's not in a fun black comedy kind of way. It's more like in a, we didn't know how to edit this, so we kind of just have to do everything we can with the footage that we have left in storage. That this movie is so badly paced. Like, we were watching this, like the first 35 minutes of this movie, we almost felt like we were at the ending, but it was just the first half hour.
Yeah, like this movie is an hour and a half long, but the pacing, that's, even though the rest of the movie, it's fine, but it's the pacing that kind of felt off to me. It was all over the place. Like, it was taking its weird time, but then all of a sudden it just quickens. Like, it even gives us the text of the numbered days that it gets to the play, and it's like, whoa, this is so quick, and it's also funny that Meatloaf is in the movie, and it's fun seeing him trying his best to act.
I mean, Meatloaf was the other highlight of this movie.
Yes.
Like, this, mostly because he's kind of sort of checked out for most of this movie. He's just sort of there for a paycheck, and he's basically doing the littlest effort he can, but it's still memorable just to basically watch him mumble around and just say, fuck.
Fuck!
And I just love how he jumped off when the phone rang. It's like, ah!
It's like he is completely removed from this, and yet he was still the second best part, despite the fact that everyone in this movie feels like they're either trying way too hard or way too little. There's no consistency with the way that the characters are presented in this film. Speaking of which, remember the dude, the Jason guy, the Jason?
Yeah.
The Jason.
Yeah. Well, we call him Jason all because the dude, like, he first interacted with our main character, Cam, and then in the next scene later,
He just appears. Look, okay, so she's talking to him on top of a bunch of stairs where they're holding auditions, and she says, like, what, bunk 21 or something like that? I don't remember what the number was. So he's sitting there. She walks way the hell down the stairs, goes to a completely different part where these people are still holding auditions, and as she turns around, boom, he appears there like fucking magic, like Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th video game.
yeah, except we don't see no Evil Dead effect going on.
I swear to God, I thought maybe this guy was the killer, but no. And then he comes back. He comes back in the same position. I was starting to think that the dude had a twin or something.
Yeah, like, I assumed that too. Like, man, does this guy have a twin? Because he can't be in this scene and then in that too fast. And what about the people that are in line to sign up for the auditions?
I hope none of them are signing in to be the main lead, because the freaking casting director was such a pig. I hated every scene with him, and I could not stand him no matter what. I was so glad that he was the first to be killed in the camp.
Yeah, the first guy, I mean the only guy wearing the fedora hat.
It's like, you know he's a douchebag because he's wearing a fedora, but come on, Jason Mraz is not a douchebag. Why'd you gotta besmirch his name like that?
Oh my God, you're Jason Mraz!
No, I'm not. I'm just some guy with a hat.
Yeah, that's who Jason Mraz is!
Oh, and you know what I did think I noticed
Oh, yeah.
is the musical numbers with the actual killer himself.
Yes, I was about to talk about that. It's like, yeah, even though this movie defines itself as a musical, but the only music we get are the group of kids coming in at the buses, which is a fun song, I will admit, especially that one moment when the guy just goes all out, "I'm gay!" Like as if we're going straight back in the 90s.
I'm gay, but not in that way. Musicals move me and touch me in ways.
I get what you're doing there, but dude, you're not fooling anybody. My gaydar senses were picking up the second you showed up your hair.
You're hurting me.
Don't touch my hair. Yep, he's gay.
I guess my favorite, if I have to pick a favorite song, I guess it'd be the one where Meatloaf is convincing everyone to stay even after the first victim gets killed.
Was that the one where he disconnects the phone line?
Yes.
It's like, we're gonna do this shit on opening night, and none of you assholes are gonna stop us. Oh, what? You said one of you is dead? Oh, too bad. I have. What was this guy's name? Victor Brady?
Yeah, Victor Brady.
We have Victor Brady, whoever the fuck that is, and he's coming in there to watch my daughter perform on stage. Even though for like half of the show, she's not even gonna be in it. Because the freaking metal killer killed half the cast, and now she is trying to uncover what the hell is going on. As if it was the ending of Halloween all of a sudden.
Yeah, and yeah, the rest of the show, like at least the middle part, just became a drag, turning itself into a comedic show. Not on purpose, but man, it was so cringy. I'm just shocked that everyone is just clapping so hard at the end, despite
Mr. Filch.
Yeah,
Mr. Filch.
Mr. Filch. The red herring looking motherfucker. I call him Mr. Filch because he looks like Mr. Filch from Harry Potter. And it was like the first guy that clapped in the movie. And I'm like, was that your purpose? Not only to look creepy and tell a couple of the people behind the scenes some words, and then you're with the audience just to clap at the end. It's like, that's it? Why all the creep factor? This is so dumb.
That was the point. It was his point was to be a misdirection, just like every other terrible slasher movie ever.
Oh yes, true that.
I mean, shit. I knew it was the creepy brother from the beginning. Oh yeah, by the way, spoiler alert if you actually give a shit about this movie, but the killer was Cam's brother, the guy
Buddy.
that...
Yeah, it's Buddy.
Yeah. Buddy. He did not look like enough though.
Oh no,
that
but
was disappointing.
But wait, there was another twist.
Oh yeah, who killed Cam's mother? Of course it was Meatloaf. In some convoluted, nonsensical twist where, by the way, they took some of the dialogue from the opening of the film and they added new dialogue that was withheld from the audience.
Guess who finally made it tonight?
The Times?
Lawrence Gibbs is absolutely in love with you.
That's great. That's great.
Guess who finally made it tonight?
The Times?
Lawrence Gibbs is absolutely in love with you.
How do you know?
Just spoke with him.
What?
So hold the fucking phone. How did they hold on. You mean to tell me that her mother cheated on Meatloaf and he knew that she was cheating on him, and they were there when this was happening, when this conversation was going on, and he was calling her out, and yet she's confused about the whole thing? Like, hold on, how did you, first of all, why are you confused? And secondly, why are we only just figuring this out now? Why did you not show us this? Were you afraid that you were gonna give away who the killer was? You didn't exactly do a good job hiding that in the first place, assholes.
Yeah, ditto.
It's like-
The way how it went, it just insulted my intelligence.
It's like, we get it. You're trying to misdirect your audience, but there's misdirecting and then there's just straight up lying. What was that joke in Bob's Burger?
The murderer was me!
What? You explicitly told us at the beginning of the show you weren't the murderer.
That's right! It's a twist!
No, it's a lie. A lie is not a twist.
And it's not, it doesn't actually go anywhere because, spoiler alert, Meatloaf kills the brother and then she ends up killing him, but not without a little help from the unremarkable love interest. Can we even consider this guy a love interest?
The gal went all smooching over with the casting director, so it's like
that guy was not a love interest though. He was a
I know, but
the other dude, did he ever mention what his name was? I completely forgot.
No, I forgot the character.
It was the Jason dude.
It was the Jason dude. Yeah.
We're just gonna call him the Jason dude because that was his only character, disappearing and then reappearing whenever the story needed him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh god, I'm the final girl, and yet I can't even survive without the man helping me. I swear to God, this movie.
Yeah, and basically cutting the meatloaf off of Meatloaf, and
what would you call that? Slicing Meatloaf up? Slicing up the loaf?
Yeah, slicing up the loaf off of Meatloaf.
Oh.
Meatloaf, I mean, God rest his soul, but oh man, I will say, Meatloaf is the best part of the movie. If you ask me, he was worth the price of admission.
Honestly.
And the way how he was psychotically trying to kill his own daughter, it's like...
We could have been watching Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, like I suggested
Robert
Sweeney
Sweeney Todd too, and yet we ended up watching this. I mean...
Well, maybe next year.
Yeah, but let's be fair though. As a musical, it really does show that yes, musicals can be entertaining and not necessarily in the same traditional way, right?
No, and I agree. And I had a blast watching Stage Fright despite its flaws. Because yeah, the flaws are there, but I actually had a good time with this one.
Yeah, this is a film that I legitimately enjoy, despite how brutally terrible this is. I actually found myself having a good time watching it. I will never recommend this to anybody without giving them a big parental advisory sticker, not because of the content, but because of how terrible it is. But I will definitely say it's one of the best bad movies that I can recommend people, especially if they're into musical theater. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, it's silly and over the top, and it's exactly the kind of shit that I'm into. What about you though? You are the guinea pig in this. Are you willing to check out other musicals after this one though?
Of course I am. I'm not gonna let a movie this dumb stop me. I'm still gonna continue.
Even if it's Mamma Mia?
Even if it's Mamma Mia.
You heard that right, folks. I'm making this asshole sit through Mamma Mia in the future. And he is not getting away from me when he does.
I don't want to.
It's Halloween, bitch. It's gonna happen one way or another.
I'm not. I don't know.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Sebastian from Cinemageddon Reviews. If you enjoyed what you see here and you would like to see more, be sure to like, share the video with your friends, and subscribe for more content.
Man, it feels good to be doing this again. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, be sure to like, share the video with your friends, and subscribe for more content. I'd like to give a special shout out to our executive producers, Wayne in the Wings, Abigail Verzella, Chelsea A. Crandall, and Kate from KateCast Reviews. If you would like to join them in helping us keep the lights on in this scorching wasteland we're currently living under, then check out our Patreon page for bonus content and exclusive rewards, including the chance to request for a movie or show for us to review in the future. After such a long hiatus, I am happy to be energetic and back in operation. Happy Halloween from all of us here at Cinemageddon Reviews, and we'll see you on the wasteland.
Who can tell me what Japanese tradition involves covering your face all in white?
Bukkake.